Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous. Welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show! And today, we are going to hell.
Yes! Yes!
Finally! We'll see how it goes. Nick, do you want to go ahead and do some player introductions while I pull up the notes I should have had up a while ago?
We can start at any time,
Yeah.
Ethan says.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Nick. I play Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock, the Human Vengeance Paladin.
I'm Kay. I play Harmony, who is the Tiefling Wild Magic Sorcerer.
I'm Zach. I play Zant, who is the Human Fighter Ranger.
I'm Melissa, and I play Mara, who is a human rogue swashbuckler.
Not seeing the announcements for today.
Pirate.
Pirate.
There weren't any.
Oh,
With
that's
a whip.
Yeah. I gave my recap. My
Okay.
recap is we're in hell now.
cool. I'll just go through what we have for the last one then. So we premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Some weeks we miss that target. Every now and again. Custom items and wild magic table, they exist in this campaign. Be aware of that as you're watching. Our music comes from BattleBards, TabletopAudio, and Incompetech. And I've picked out a couple new songs for Hell, so that should be good. Character portraits, which you'll see on the stat cards in the top right corner, which are now out of date since the party is level 19. Were drawn by an artist known as Carrie Peach, goes by @CarrieDraws on Twitter. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and info to everything I just mentioned and more. And you can follow us on Twitter @AntiheroesAnon to know when our episodes are not going up on Monday. Other than that, we hope you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, and come back to watch some more.
Can you tell it's right before our Christmas break?
Yeah.
There's actually no Christmas stuff in the shot, though. I'm right
Yeah.
next to a tree.
I
Yeah.
meant you.
Believe him.
Your
Yeah.
behavior.
Okay, well,
You're like pre-holiday break.
no, this is last work week broke Ethan's brain.
Yeah.
So
No new episode next week. Did you mention that?
no, I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
But we won't have an episode next week because holidays. We'll be back.
Probably the following.
Probably the following
Not the week after that.
But we're working on the schedule. So follow on Twitter to find out more.
Yeah.
When we remembered post.
Remember to post.
We're good at this. We're professionals.
We are professionals. I feel like maybe we'll talk about this after. I have an idea of things we could post. Anyway.
Ready?
Pre-holiday
Recap.
break, Ethan.
Recap. The good thing we have an extra 15 minutes to play tonight. You know.
Yeah.
Just
Just kind of work out the kinks a little bit.
recap. A night hag named Mother Midnight has been showing up and causing a little bit of trouble for the party once more after a long absence and silence. So the party put together a elaborate plan that took 13 episodes to make their way to the Nine Hells and confront her in her lair on the 6th layer of the Nine Hells, Malbolg. So now all the preparations are in place. They have coated the Drowning Kisses hole with Demon Ichor. They have secured a guide / captain for the boat to navigate them down the river Styx. They have... what else do you guys have to do?
We got the Papers of Passage.
You got Papers of Passage.
And we have soul coins.
You have soul coins.
Soul coins. You have
Book of
money.
bodybuilding.
You have the Book of Bodybuilding.
We,
Did
Yeah.
you mention our navigator?
I did, yeah.
yeah.
And so the party has just taken a portal back onto the deck of the Drowning Kiss from the city of Sigil, and they are now in the frigid, wintry town of Redwater, as it is sort of the middle of the final month of the year. And you tumble out into the kitchen, and I guess I will turn things over to you. See where you want to go from here. Though I think I know.
I want to have a very stern talk with Pinky.
Okay, yeah, I mean the swarm of rats tumbles out after you and sort of forms up into a large, medium-sized rat.
I'm going to just go up, take him up to the side, have a nice little private chat.
What do you want to say?
Private.
Yeah.
Well,
We're not listening.
we're not listening. Have to check
What is
the
it?
DM.
What is it? Did I do something wrong?
Yes.
What have I
Where
done?
were you leading us?
I was just trying to make the way to the portal, like you asked.
That's not the way to the portal.
Well, it's been a long time since I dwelled within the sewers of Sigil, you know?
Better not happen again. Or no retreats.
The like human-sized swarm of rats that is coalesced into a larger rat sort of like recoils back at that.
Alright.
You wouldn't.
Over here. But try better next time.
Like all of the rats dive for it and then swarm at it and it's gone.
How embarrassing. Oh, he's number one fireball.
Sure isn't.
Oh boy.
We're not riding a flying swarm of rats into battle.
But wouldn't you love to, though?
What about a swarm of unicorns? Unicorns
So
times rat?
now that we're
Space
here,
food.
I have no idea how this is going to work.
Yeah, I thought we were going to plane shift us all.
Yes, I can plane shift us, but where are we going, and how are we getting the drowning kiss to come with us? Here's the thing: shrink the drowning kiss, put it in a bag, plane shift.
Right.
But if we plane shift to the river Styx,
Well, we're not going there first.
where are we
We're
going?
going to
We're going to the first layer. of
Pizza
Avernus.
Hut place.
Yeah, we have business on Avernus. So
That's
once
right.
once
Can
we're-
I plane shift straight into Avernus? I thought we had to take the river Styx to get into Avernus.
I think you have it the other way around. I think once we're in Avernus, we place down kids into the river Styx and then sail on.
You sort of have two options based on your research. The first option would be like Thaddeus is suggesting. You could plane shift into Avernus and then from there place the drowning kiss in the river Styx and then sail downward. The other option would be, since the river Styx is sort of a demi-plane unto itself, you could plane shift there, but depending on your magic, you might not end up at the juncture where the river Styx intersects with the Hells, because the river Styx winds through all of the lower planes.
I see. So
So,
it's safer to plane
options-
shift straight into Avernus.
Option C is we use the infernal engine on the whatever ship, the big ship.
Sea Devil's Curse?
Yes, thank you.
So let's plane shift to Avernus.
Yes.
Okay,
I think we should.
sure.
All right. So you disembark the drowning kiss,
Pick it up.
and as soon as you go down the gangplank and step onto the docks, you see that there is a set of figures standing there, and one of them is Eli. They're all wearing like very like hefty winter cloaks and things like that to like ward off the cold winter air. And Eli sort of he seemed to have been talking to the other two figures that are there, but then he strides forward towards Harmony when the group of you disembark and says, "Oh, Harmony, I'm glad I caught you. We were waiting around hoping you'd come back. You said you'd be back today, just briefly, and we didn't want to miss you."
Did something happen?
Well, no, it's nothing so major as something happening. I had something I wanted to give to you before you left. I wanted to talk to Thaddeus briefly as well, but then these two showed up and they wanted to talk to Thaddeus as well. And so Thaddeus, as the rest of you are sort of looking more at this other crew, one of them pulls back the hood of the winter cloak that they were wearing, and you see that it is your younger brother,
Oh,
Gavin.
yeah. Abruptly stopped patting on the
No,
back
I
there.
knew he was gonna be one of them.
Oh, okay.
With his mommy.
Yep, and the other one who
God.
has not pulled back their winter cloak, but seems to be a more more slightly lithe and shorter figure would be presumably Valerie. And he just, as he sort of pulls his head back and catches your eye, gives you a bit of like a nod, like, come over here and let's talk.
Yeah, Thaddeus nods and goes over with him.
let's do Harmony and Eli first.
One question. Is Orgric still on the ship? I hope so.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about Orgric.
Yeah, I think that basically when you got back and tumbled out into the kitchen, Orgrix just sort of looked around at the group of you to refresh your memory. Orgrix is sort of this tall, gaunt, very skeletal-looking figure wearing this sort of like light set of robes that seem to be made of some sort of skin, and the robe culminates in a hood that has sort of like stuffed devilish horns at the top.
That's right.
Yep. And Orgrix, when he tumbles out onto the boat, just kind of like dismisses himself on the pretext of like needing to check out the ship. And actually, the wording he uses is, "I just need to take a moment to bond with it, if that's okay. Like, I need to inspect it, and it won't take very long. So you
Can I
go
come
attend to
with
some
you?
business and come on back."
I'll be right behind you.
If you follow Orgrix around, basically he just kind of walks around the ship, feeling every little bit of it, nodding with approval here and there, stopping, kind of tilting the head every now and again.
Have mermaid tank at the front.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just listening to the
Listening to the voices
Yep,
of
yep.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
But basically just seems to take a tour around the ship. And as the tour goes on, you start to notice little things like when Orgrix will move his hand over a railing, like all the ropes that were piled on the railing will start to get out of the way of the hand. Or like he'll turn his attention up towards the sails and the wind will billow in them one way and then billow back the other way, you know, that sort of thing. And yeah, that goes on for a little while.
That's cool.
Eli draws Harmony off to one side. And says, "I know we were supposed to have done our partying earlier when you left before, but I have something." Shoot, didn't loop. Music doesn't loop anymore.
I have something to loop.
I have something to
I know.
like, my
There we go. No,
I didn't get much sleep.
I thought of something that maybe I could give you, and don't expect too much of it. It's just something that I have been working on in your absence, based off the sort of things that I've seen you do, like all of your enchanting work. I don't know how it will go. And basically he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a long light blue feather and hands it to you.
I take it with both hands. This is really pretty.
Yeah, and hopefully it's more than just pretty. I don't know if it will work, but if things get very desperate down there where you're going, just hold this out and think of me. And hopefully it works.
Thank you. And I'll give him a kiss.
He turns purple when you are looking, but also gives you a little peck back on the cheek. Meanwhile, Thaddeus and Gavin need a different.
I must not have any room to read things anymore.
Yeah, you need a new sheet of this.
Well, I'm almost at level 20. I want to keep it this way.
Okay.
Gavin draws you aside and sort of signals to Valerie to give you guys a little bit of space. And looks you up and down and says, "So based on what your friend over there, Eli, was saying, this is the final step before you go on to your journey?"
We've been preparing for this for a while and we're ready. We have everything we need.
I obviously don't know the details, but from what I gathered, it seems like it'll be something pretty dangerous.
Even the least of the houses, not something any sane person wants to be in. I have business with the Lord of one of these hells.
Well, that is disconcerting, to say the least. I came here today because I have my sources, and I found out you'd be leaving from here. I didn't realize it was so soon, so I'm glad I caught you. I came here today because, and he kind of bites his words here for a minute, like he's not quite sure how to proceed, before he finally says, "It's hard for me to say things like this, but the past few years working together with you, I think we've made good progress in a lot of ways.
I think that's true.
And I want you to be safe in your voyage." And so he rummages around in the small satchel that he's carrying. And as he does so, make a perception check.
First roll of the night.
I noticed that Harmony didn't have to make perception checks about what she got. This isn't great.
Sorry, but Eli doesn't hide things from people. That's also terrible.
10.
10, okay. Did Thaddeus ever see Gavin's book? He did, but he didn't know who it was from, right?
Did he
think-
see it with us? I thought we kept it a secret from you the whole
He
time
did
we
see
had
it?
it.
Okay.
Okay.
In that
That's
case,
right.
you don't really notice anything. Nothing in particular with the 10. But he rummages around in his little satchel and pulls out
That's right, because we returned it. Okay.
2 little vials. One of them, Thaddeus has seen enough of these to recognize, is some degree of healing potion.
Okay.
And he puts this, he holds it out towards you and says, "This wasn't inexpensive, but I think it will be worth it if it keeps you alive down there."
Oh,
And so he hands you a potion,
alright.
and it is a potion of superior healing.
Oh.
And then the second one, you may or may not have seen before. It kind of bubbles with it's like an orange bubbly potion, and he hands it to you and says, "This one was a little bit cheaper, but I think it could also be helpful. I don't know much about the hells, but there's a lot of fire there, I gather. Anyways, this will help you resist the element of fire should you come into contact with any."
Well, hopefully that won't happen, but I'll remember that I have it if I do.
It's a potion of fire resistance.
Cool.
And then he goes on to say,
Whoa.
"This music is hard today." But this is as quiet as it gets for some reason.
It's fine. It's great. Oh, don't make it too quiet. Too
Yeah.
weird.
Anyways.
I'll see you again, I'm sure.
I hope so. I had one other motive for coming out here. I wanted to ask you a question. A bit of a personal question. I was curious if, in your line of duty, you've ever known you had to do something, but weren't sure that you could follow through with it.
You know, I think there might have been at one point. I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you. When we were in, we were given a mission at one point to rescue Helia Ironshield from whatever was happening to her, and which we discovered when we finally ascended her tower to her sanctum, got in. What we found there was the most horrific thing I've ever seen. She was being worked upon by a mind flayer, a robotic mind flayer, had this mechanical saw and was prying out her brains right before consuming them. That was the moment, I think, more than any other, that I wondered what I was up against and if I could do it. And after that, I was never afraid of anything again.
So what you're saying is there's a there's a critical point where you overcome whatever inside you is holding you back, and then after that it gets easier?
I think something different happened to me. I think that I was in some way diminished by my patron. I don't think that I'm able to feel fear anymore. Because she knows that if I could, I wouldn't be able to do the work that I need to do for her. Or rather, that she needs me to do. Think about what I'm doing now. I'm going to meet with one of the archlords of the Hells. That's, by any reasonable estimate, I'm supposed to retrieve something for her. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm not afraid. Shouldn't I be? I feel like I should be, but I'm not.
I certainly would be.
I'm gonna.
I wish that that was an ability that I had, I think.
But listen. What I'm saying to you is that if you have reservations, be glad that you still have them. Maybe listen to them.
Would you roll a persuasion check?
Yeah.
Come on,
This is not advantage. I don't know why I rolled for this. That's not bad. A 23.
23.
That's
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah. Gonna note that down so that I forget.
I feel like the last time you rolled
It's higher
persuasion
than
on
I
Gavin, it
started
was
Yeah,
terrible.
it was.
It was.
He's thoughtful for a moment and then says, "Alright, well, I think that's good advice." He kind of like regains his composure. Like throughout this entire conversation, from start to finish, he has not been himself.
Yeah.
100%. He stands up taller again and says, "Well, I hope you get back safely," and sort of like holds out a hand to shake your hand.
I have every confidence.
Shakes it. And then he turns his head over to Valerie and says, "Valerie, if we hurry, we can make the next train. Let's go. Our business here is done." And she scurries over. Mara, you would have seen that she was kind of watching all of you as a like a hawk. the
Oh, I was
entire
watching
time.
her too.
Yeah. And then the two of them head off back into the town of Redwater.
That was scary. I thought that the way you made it phrased, I thought that Gavin had to do something. He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it. He was gonna do something.
Oh, like right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
straight out of
Yeah. Like he had his
Force
orders.
Awakens?
yeah, straight out of the Force Awakens.
Yeah.
You're strong enough.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, Eli is basically milking every moment he can get with you, but as soon as it becomes obvious that Gavin and Valerie have headed off, and the group of you are like looking to regroup, he kind of says his final goodbyes, gives you one last big hug, and then he also goes off back into the city.
Rick didn't come see us off.
It's alright. He's busy. Okay, you got your ship? I guess we should tell Orbit
Yeah, I
to
got my
come
shit
down.
together.
You got your shit together? We should tell Orbit to get off and come over with us.
Okay.
And then shrink the ship down.
Okay.
Are
I'll
you
yell
gonna-
at him.
Are you gonna keep the ship with you?
Do we put it in the bag of holding? Or am I putting it in my pocket?
It's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you. It's your ship.
Okay, I'll put it with me. I'll leave it with me.
Yeah, Orbrix comes down, kind of looks around the town and says, "This is a horrible place.
Don't be rude.
We're not gonna tell you his name.
Wouldn't want to hear it anyways." That's exactly what I'd like. So, how are we getting there? What's the plan? Also, cool trick, shrinking the ship.
Thanks.
I don't want to know how you did it.
I wasn't going to tell you.
Good.
Let's tell him everything.
And I'm not going to
La,
tell
la,
you.
la, la.
I'm not
Yes,
going to
that
tell
is.
you the plan either.
That doesn't work.
And
The
I
only thing
will.
that I want to know is where you're going. And we can discuss that when we're on the river. So,
Well,
Well,
we're going to Avernus.
That's where we'll be sailing from.
right. What I'm saying is all I want to know is where we're sailing to. And we can
Alright.
discuss that once we get there.
Yes.
okay.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Nah, ready.
Here goes. I think we need to like hold hands or something for plane shift. I remember Gavin doing it.
Yeah.
And I will cast wish to cast plane shift.
How do you word the wish? I know you're just mimicking the spell effect, but
Yes. I wish to transport this group to Avernus.
okay. And there is at
Should
first
roll
the
help that
familiar.
No wild magic.
That's too bad. There is at first a familiar pulling and sucking sensation as you are whisked away from your current plane of existence. The same flashes of colors that you usually see when Harmony teleports you fly by your eyes, but they're accompanied by a sense of heat, overwhelming and oppressive, fiery heat that just pushes in on you. This goes on for longer than a normal teleport seems to, would normally last, and it just seems to drag on, and the group of you can just clutch onto each other's hands until finally the sensation of the whirling colors and the disorientation fades, but the heat does not. Those of you who are not innately resistant to fire, which is to say the three of you, feel this oppressive heat on you continuously. Harmony is just pleasantly warm, really. Or maybe I shouldn't say pleasantly warm, it's just slightly too warm. 1 degree too warm, perhaps. And all the colors fade from your vision, and you get a look around at your new surroundings, and all that you can see for miles around is desolate wasteland with a reddish sand, or perhaps the sand is just being colored by the dim, like russet-colored light that seems to pervade the atmosphere, seemingly without source. You look around and you see the landscape is essentially hills and rocky outcroppings of either this red or maybe a black obsidian, and you see off in the distance, one direction, there is a massive rib cage that is just curling out of the earth that must stand like a mile high, and it just is dominating that part of the landscape. And then as you look up at the sky, you can see these dark clouds that sort of drift across the sky. And at first you think that they are just that, dark clouds. But then you realize, as your eyes begin to adjust to your current environment, that they are actually swarms of flies and locusts that are just up in the atmosphere, lazily drifting about. But one of them is then disrupted as you watch, and you can see this happening in several places across the landscape. A meteor of fire streaks through the air and then basically crashes into one of these swarms of bugs in the atmosphere, and then eventually lands and with a big impact that resounds throughout the plains that you find yourself on as fires spring up from where it landed. And you are now in the wastelands of Avernus. Welcome.
Thaddeus.
It's very different from the brochure.
I was about to say, Thaddeus pulls out his brochure and looks at it and looks up and throws it away.
Yep, completely different.
Okay, well, we have work to do here, right, Grumpy?
2 things. We need to meet with the lord of this place, Zariel, I think her name is. And then there's that Mahadi fellow.
Oh, right,
Yes.
the favor.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't I supposed to?
Were we told how to find Mahadi? I can't remember.
It was
yes.
like we threw something in the river, and
Yeah.
I believe you throw a platinum piece in the river Styx.
after you,
Yeah.
we have to twirl it like 3 times or something.
So what should we do first?
We'll do that. Well, that's the river Styx is on our way out anyway, so let's do the sword first.
I was thinking we should do Mahadi first,
Wanna do
because
that?
Mahadi might be able to tell us where to find Zariel.
That's a good point. We can do that.
Okay, so...
But I don't know how to find Styx.
Or Grix.
I mean, I think I should be able to help with that. Us Morenos are rather connected to the sticks itself.
Well, I'd ask if you have a divining rod, but that doesn't seem right here.
Orgrix doesn't get the joke. Just doesn't understand. It kind of looks around, like feels the wind. There isn't really wind. And then starts walking in a direction. I guess maybe this way?
All right, lead on.
Moloch hops up
It's
onto
not
your
another
shoulder,
pinky
Harmony,
fiasco.
and says,
Alright, well this is it. We are finally here, boss.
It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It has, and that hag is finally going to get what's coming to her.
How are you feeling?
A little bit nervous to be back. I've never liked Avernus, to be honest.
It's not really great, isn't it?
Well, it has its merits, but no, it's not great.
Do you have any tips for dealing with this Lord Zariel person?
Oh, well, tips. No.
Once. 2 times.
She values things like strength and valor and commitment to a cause. But,
Sounds like Thaddeus would be a perfect match then.
well, maybe. But I think they see a few things a little bit differently, so I don't know. We'll see how dealing with her goes. I guess I didn't understand that he intended to communicate directly with her, but
I didn't understand that either.
I guess we'll see how it goes.
Is that the way our research found it? That we have to like talk to this person, or that the sword is just in
the
the
sword,
battlefield?
yeah, what your research revealed was that, to refresh your memory, Esanahen gave her sword to Zariel, her most trusted angel in general, and sent Zariel into the Nine Hells to watch over the tide of the Blood War, essentially. And then Zariel went to the Nine Hells, grew impatient with merely watching over the Blood War, wanted to sort of take an active role in it and end it once and for all. And upon doing so, something happened, and Zariel ended up as the Archdevil ruling over the first layer of the Nine Hells, and the sword was lost to history.
Okay, got it. Interesting.
So, Grumpy,
Yes, Shorty?
what do you hope to accomplish by talking to this Zariel person?
I mean, if I can just convince her that her lady needs the sword back, that would be the easiest way.
But what if she doesn't know where the sword is?
Seems unlikely to me. It's a treasured possession of the gods we both serve.
But didn't your research say it was lost?
Lost to history, but that's history in Allendale, not history here. I think she has... I think it's most likely that she of anybody in the Hells will know where it is, and so that's where we're going to her roots. And remember, that is holds a percentage. She can't hurt us.
Right. Unless we hurt her?
Unless we hurt her. Which is 5th or 6th on the list of plans that I have to get the sword back.
The second agenda.
I'm really curious to hear about the other 4 or 5.
As the group of you have been walking, you notice that everything you're wearing and carrying seems heavy, making you feel sluggish and tired. And it becomes very apparent that travel by foot is only going to get you so far on this landscape that you find yourself on, as it just is maybe 10 to 15 times more arduous than this sort of mostly flat wasteland has any right being. You just find yourself out of breath when you shouldn't be, and things like that, or like overheating from heat that isn't normally enough to do it for you, you know, that sort of thing. But after maybe 3 or 4 hours of this just sort of painful slog, and Mara Pinky begins to start to whine and complain as the rats kind of like trip over each other moving forward. You find yourselves
the plane is interrupted by a feature that you notice. You seem to have wandered into a battlefield or something, or some kind. You start to see like pillars of smoke rising up, from the planes themselves. And as you get closer to the pillars of smoke, you realize that they're smoldering up from remnants of like flaming balls thrown by catapults or things like that. And you start to see, it starts out as just one or two, but the bodies of devils of various types, ones that you've seen before, ones that you haven't, but all slain, and most of them like torn apart in one way or another, like one limb thrown over there, one totally, its chest ripped open, things like that. And they just get more and more numerous as you begin to head in this direction until you're essentially standing in the middle of this field of bodies of devils. And would you roll perception checks?
Oh,
9.
23.
27.
Okay, the two of you, Mara and Zant, I think probably you'd spot different things. Zant, maybe you are keeping more of an eye up on the skies as you're walking.
Sure.
But you spot these large, like black circling bird-like creatures that are hovering over the battlefield and then dipping down in places. And they must be extremely large because they will pick up the entire body of a devil in their mouth and then, like swoop back up with it and then toss it to another one of the birds where they like take turns like chomping on the bodies of the devils and things like that.
I see.
Mara, the thing that you notice is that there are 3 large creatures. They almost look like, let me pull up an image so I can describe them to you. They have kind of the lower bodies of big, powerfully built horses or something like that. They have hoved feet, and 4 of them. But the torso of it seems to be like covered in plates of some sort of like tough skin or shell or something like that. And then the upper body is just this muscular, powerfully built humanoid form with arms that culminate in these wicked-looking claws, and then the head is almost like that of a bull, but almost like much more ghastly. Like the jaws are very bony and the teeth are very elongated and things like that. Worst of all, though, they have these long, like maybe 10, 15 foot long, serrated tails that look like basically bone that has grown serrated edges that are whipping across the field as they sort of stomp around and basically take javelins and plunge them into the bodies of these devils. And then, yeah, I think that's what you would see.
Okay. Are we heading in the direction of these things?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ordrix.
Oh yeah. What's up?
Maybe we should go around.
Well, I mean, the Styx is that way.
Yeah, but there's also danger that way.
Right, but in Avernus, if you stray too far off the direction, you could end up somewhere you don't want to go. Things aren't 100% linear when you're traveling.
That's dangerous.
We'll be fine. I can't do anything else.
Well, what if they aren't devils, though, bound by the contract?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because they're picking off devils. They're not...
Do you guys do anything to try and hide yourselves at all?
I'll cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
If we want to do that.
I could also cast Seeming and make us look like
Rotting corpses
something
of devils.
else. No, because then we'd be a target, right?
That's true.
Look like them or something? Or
Yeah.
like... So, are they devils or are they demons or are they something
It's
else?
hard to tell at this distance, but they do seem to be.
If I pull my scope out, can I get a better
Oh
look?
yeah, that's true.
Alright.
Roll an Arcana check.
I will also, maybe if I don't do well, hand it to Harmony as well. See
Can
if
I
you
help you?
Well, you're better at economy, so maybe I should help you with the scope.
Oh,
Okay.
Why
Look through
don't you
the
take a
scope?
look?
Okay. Does that give me advantage
Yes.
on my Arcana? Ooh.
Whoa! Didn't even need it.
Well, okay. That's 18.
18. They don't look like any devils you know of, but you don't know of every single type of devil, so.
I don't know of every single type of devil though.
So I'll like hand the scope to Moloch too. Be like, what do you make of those things?
Oh yeah, those are demons.
Okay,
and,
so
and tough ones too.
so they'll fight us basically. They'll attack us.
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, their whole modus operandi is kill, 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 indiscriminately destroy. So we should probably hide.
Okay, so I'll cast
in
Pest
fact-
Trace then.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and make stealth checks if you want to, real quick.
Advantage?
Disadvantage.
Oh shit.
Here's mine. and
Clank, clank, clank,
Parker's.
clank, clank.
We're doing stealth?
Yes.
You don't need to roll. But you get a plus 10 to whatever
Yeah.
you.
Well, I'm not
Papa.
proficient in that, so that is a 13.
Plus 10?
Yes.
Oh, plus 10 for
Plus
more?
10.
From
for
Pass
me.
Without Trace.
Oh, good. So 23.
19.
29.
19, 29, 23.
I got a 33,
Okay.
and Bianco got a. I really want to count this now.
It's uncountable.
This is incredible. 43. No.
Dude.
Hang on.
That
Yeah,
was-
43.
Numbers don't go that high in D&D.
Plus 14, 19 on die, plus
Plus
10.
Yeah.
43. Beat that, any demon put together.
Says I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
The group of you collectively basically have to duck behind like a rocky outcropping. There is a brief moment where, as Thaddeus is kind of jumping back behind the outcropping with you, you think maybe one of the birds up in the sky spotted the group of you, as it kind of cranes its neck and looks in your direction and lets out a screech. And then when it screeches, another figure, which you hadn't seen before because of sort of the angle you're at on this flat plane, but rises up from where it was on the ground devouring the body of a devil. And you see another horrifying looking entity that sort of stands on 2 feet, but has like the body. It has hooved feet, and it's large, so it's maybe like 8-9 feet tall. But its body sort of, as it goes up, transforms from hooved feet to the upper body of some sort of horrible monkey, with these long, wicked claws. But then its face, though monkey-like, has these horrible, long tusks that come off of the chin, and there's 4 of them. And then it has this tiny set of black wings on its back that seem disproportionate to its body. And it looks over in your direction and sort of begins to stalk that way. But you're still safe for the moment.
Harmony, do you have anything to distract this thing that's approaching us?
That's a very good question.
Because I don't.
I can try minor illusion.
Like make a sound or something, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Make a sound coming from behind
Behind him.
him. What was my range on that?
Well, I'm mad at Pinky. I could send him to go around that way. The opposite way,
It's
the
a
long way
30
around.
foot range. How far away is he?
At this point, probably about 35 feet or so. I mean, so he's come. You could wait till he's like a little bit closer and then do something if you wanted to. Sort of lumbering slowly in your direction.
Yeah, but if I do
Like
it like
the ground
30
shaking
feet
a little bit with each
off to
step.
the side, kind of in the direction that some of the
Mhm.
birds are, and then I'll just make it sound like the birds cawing more.
Okay. Roll, I guess, just a deception check.
Luckily, this has no verbal component, so. Ooh, 24.
24. Okay. Yeah, that gets its attention, and it sort of directs its eyes back up to the sky, and the wings on its back begin to beat, and it flies up into the air with more speed than you'd expect.
Wait, these wings are like little tiny things too?
Yeah, like compared to its body, it's got kind of this like,
Does it have a tail?
it does have a little tail that whips around behind it, but its body is like this, I don't know, this like misshapen mass. It looks, I don't know, it doesn't look healthy. This thing flies up into the air and looks in the direction that you made the sound of the calling, and seems distracted for a second. But then you also begin to hear a rumble coming from behind where you're hiding.
A rumble like something coming.
Like
from
something
the
coming
ground?
the other direction.
Oh.
So basically, like, they're here, you're here, and something is coming from back here.
Something wicked.
But not like
Oh.
a rumble, like
Comes.
something coming from underground, but more like just footsteps or something.
It's hard to tell. I mean, you could turn around and take a look.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
As the group of you turn around and look at what is coming the other direction, which also quickly sort of redirects the demons' attention as they sort of begin to look at the same thing. You see a dust cloud of red dust starting to churn on the horizon, and at first it's a little bit hard to see what is in that dust cloud, but probably Hunter, especially with the scope, as he sort of
Sorry.
zoomed in on it.
Yeah, who's that?
Sorry, Xant. Jeez, come on, guys. You can see the glint of metal within the dust cloud
Okay.
as a large machine of some kind is tearing across the wasteland. Yeah. And at an incredible pace. And as it gets a little bit closer, the demons that are picking across the devil bodies begin to sort of like gather up, like the big monkey-like one with the tusks shouts something in a language that I don't think any of you speak, and they begin to sort of gather up and try and vacate the field, but the dust cloud seems to be going straight for them.
Okay, so I'm gonna like point like Moloch there. What's that thing?
Well, I've got honestly no idea. Like I said, it's been a long time since I was in Avernus.
And then Orgrapes?
Shrugs.
Oh jeez. Well, there's something coming.
I guess Thaddeus gets his sword out.
Should we get out of the way?
I don't think they're coming for us.
No, they seem to sort of divert
They're, like,
their
fixated
direction
on the
towards the demons.
Put that sword away.
Okay.
So it's just a big machine?
Mm-hmm.
How big is it machine?
Skipping Hoover.
Oh, it is.
It's not a vacuum.
It is quite large. It is.
Vacuum up all the debris. Clean up the wasteland.
I hope it's like gigantic.
I don't have dimensions here for it, but I know the thing weighs 9,000 pounds, so that's great.
So you can't telekinesis it.
Damn.
But as it gets close enough that like you can see more details of it
Yeah.
from within the dust cloud, you can see that it is sort of this like three-wheeled monstrosity made of dark
Tricycle.
infernal iron
Oh my.
that has spikes protruding from all of the different
Is it
angles.
like a
on
Mad Max devil?
That's what I was
Very much Mad Max.
Oh my god.
And it
is
is
there a guy with
just
a flame guitar?
lovely day.
on the sides of it. There are two what
I
look
hope
to
it's
be
real.
two like devices, and they're loaded with harpoons. And then on the back of it, there is this long, wicked claw that is attached to a chain that is just swinging in the back, and you can barely see. Seated in a driving seat behind quite a bit of like cover, so you can
Tinted
only sort of
glass.
see their eyes. With 3 sets of goggles is a figure that seems to have 3 skeletal heads, and each head seems to be crackling with a different color of energy. One of them is crackling with this like blue energy.
Hang on a second.
One is crackling with
no.
yellow energy,
Oh,
and one
no.
is crackling with orange energy, and they are just tearing straight towards the demons. And as they whoosh past you, you see seated in the harpoon launcher stations on the sides, there are a pair of wicked-looking undead creatures with these long lashing tongues, also wearing goggles. And they basically turn these harpoon guns towards the demons, and then once the big machine passes you, two other machines basically, which are more akin to like the size of maybe a small horse or something like that, but similarly just like plates of iron. They're basically motorcycles. Whip out of the dust cloud as well and sort of flank the big machine. And they just basically encircle the demons that are on the ground and begin flinging these harpoons at them, and the demons launch into combat. You guys want to do anything?
Should we go?
While they're distracted, yeah.
Yeah, we should leave.
Yeah. You just want to get out of there?
I mean,
Make stealth
maybe.
checks.
Like,
What would
stealth
they have
out?
the game?
Do we recognize?
Make a perception check.
Okay,
I was looking for my
because
notes. When even was
right.
that?
that's
In the Shadowfell.
the 23.
Okay.
Do I recognize who I think I recognize?
As they drive by, you hear
Carl
the
and
voices basically as the three heads
Yeah.
talk to each other, and one of them
Yeah, I
says,
have it here.
"Oh, what? So we gotta kill these guys now?" And the blue skull says, "Yes, we do. We need to kill them and take over this battlefield so that we can scour for soul coins. Didn't you listen when we were talking about this?" And the head that is crackling with electricity says, "You two just need to shut up and focus. Come on, you ghouls, man the cannons. It's time for battle!" And they just begin to fling harpoons at these
I can't
demons.
believe they're here.
Yep. They don't seem to have noticed.
I was just gonna ask that. I was
Yeah.
just gonna
Here
ask
it
that.
is.
Cecilia.
We freed Cecilia and we freed Simon, but Carl died?
Yeah,
Well,
I
he
thought we
fought
killed
us.
one.
Well,
He attacked
Carl,
us, right?
Carl seems to be shouting his frustration at the other skulls. But also, as you pass, they are attached to a body. But it seems like all three skulls are attached to the same body.
Yeah, yeah.
Stratus Imperium? What does that even mean?
I know what that
How
is.
did I write that down? Wish I took better notes.
It's a country in the world. I should get some cool music out.
Some like really metal music.
should we hail them?
But if they were
They might-
if they were killed
wait.
outside of the hells, then they would have been revived in the hells.
They
If they were
might,
devils.
they might give us a ride.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what
what I
I'm
was
thinking.
thinking.
Yeah.
Because I think Cecilia and Simon were on good terms at least.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we killed Carl before we realized.
Well, I think he attacked
No,
us,
yeah,
right?
we tried to make a deal with Carl and he wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he attacked us and
Yeah.
we had to, you know,
Yeah, and
Right.
then,
win.
and then Cecilia and the other one were on board after that.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, we could try.
Especially
What's
if
our-
there's a lot more ways.
What's our,
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
so tiring.
what's our plan B? If things go a little sour. I don't know if we want to fight this thing.
We can't escape from it,
we
that's
can
for
charm
sure.
Yeah.
We can charm them.
Okay,
I could banish one for
sure.
a minute.
Banish, but this is their,
They'll
Yeah,
be back after a minute.
Then we'd have to.
I see, okay. Alright, well, should we help them first? Or just,
You know?
Yeah, it's a sign of good faith.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's help
Okay.
them.
how far away are these demons?
Probably like 40 feet because they started to run away, but then this thing just quickly overtook them.
Oh, okay, so it's pretty
But I
close.
got distracted looking at my notes by these ones.
Oh, nice. Amazing.
Should we be doing the thing?
Yeah, if you guys want to jump on in,
Alright.
Yeah.
roll
Yeah.
initiative.
Alright,
let's
let's
do
do
it.
That easy for me to do it.
Great.
Much better.
At least you have a bonus of some kind.
That's true.
I do not.
Oh!
Ooh, gosh, I hate going first.
Trade me.
Your initiative is so high, though, the chances of you going first every time is very high. Didn't I get 10 higher than you on the stealth check, too?
Almost certainly. This pinky seal.
God, that was
Things
like,
I
I
need to roll
completely
initiative
forgot
for.
about these skulls. And then you made, because I was like, oh, that sounds really familiar. And then you made
knew
a sound
exactly what it was.
recognition, and I was like,
wait, did that happen in this campaign? And then I was like, that wasn't just a fever dream that I had?
Do I have time to use the bathroom real quick? Or
Go quick. Moving initiatives.
Because I'm not first.
You're not first.
Should be good.
Mara exists, so you're not first.
Rolling
Did you
terrible
roll a nat
initiatives.
20 on your initiative?
She sure did.
Plus your oh my god.
Plus what, 8?
Yes.
Rogues, man.
And
Get your ride.
the Flame Skull Lord gets an initiative of.
Flame Skull Lord. A leaping. You know, that's what he wrote here. Every time he would say something, he'd point to the Lord of Leaping, your brother, and
And that's why I never
Oh,
found me out
okay.
earlier.
If there's a horn on this machine, he can be a Lord of Beeping.
Go away.
I thought you'd appreciate that one.
Lord of Beeping.
Lord of Beeping.
okay, he tries.
Thaddeus. Oh, Thaddeus.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mara, surprising no one, you're up first.
Okay, so let's see. We're setting
The
the scene.
camera apparently froze while Zach was there. So Zach never got up.
You never left. You've just been
I know.
sitting
See,
there
I
the whole
planned the
time.
whole thing. I said I hit the pause button.
Now who's the Lord of Leaping?
Not me, because I didn't get up.
Okay, so did we move in closer now? And
Yeah, set the stage for us. Where is everybody?
Right. So currently the group of you are about 40 feet back from all of this. The big hoofed horse-like demons are on the ground, whereas the large monkey demon creature has taken to the skies with its tiny little wings, and the large black vulture-like demons are still circling up at the skies.
do you think this is going to be quick, or should I cast Fly so that I can get up there and chase him around?
Oh, that's
I think I will cast Fly.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if we necessarily have like a surprise round, but they don't see us, right?
That's
They don't see you, no, but they are in combat, so you'd just kind of be jumping in.
Okay.
So, but she'd have advantage on an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
sure,
what I'm asking.
because she's hidden.
But if you do fly, then you don't.
I'm gonna go up.
Cool.
Because
Yeah. Why not?
Everything's in the air.
Okay.
All right, so Mara, you pull out the dagger. The winds rush around you. You leap up into the air. What do you want to do?
okay, so am I close enough to this monkey guy?
Yeah,
You
you
can't
could.
attack. You use your action to cast Fly. So you have a movement and a bonus action.
Yeah. So okay, so using like a tool would be considered an action. Okay, so I'm just gonna.
You can also hang out, and then on your next turn, fly out and use your surprise thing.
I'm gonna try to get in behind him where he doesn't see me.
Okay, yeah, sure. Roll a stealth check, I guess. At disadvantage, because you're kind of flying out into open space.
You still have pass without trace though.
Yeah.
I didn't drop that, so you get plus 10 or whatever you.
Okay, plus 10 to the lowest one.
10. Plus 10 plus your dex, so 25.
5.
25?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to notice you at all as you fly up towards it. It's basically well distracted by this massive
Well, your
machine
5
that is
doesn't
coming
know
down. Do you need
It's
to
small.
pause, Kay?
No, we're good. We're good.
Or great.
Byako then is up next.
Byako. Byako's gonna hold an action to attack if one of the demons draws close.
Okay.
So he's not gonna jump into the fray. Not yet.
Right. Well, the Flame Skull Lord, who is driving the car,
Okay. Yeah, Flame Skull Lords are pretty great.
basically, oh no, this is not the right vehicle. This is the right one. Cool. Still has a crushing wield ability. So it's just going to essentially drive over one of those large horse-like
Great.
creatures.
9,000 pounds.
Yep. So they're going to try and make some dexterity saves.
Yes.
Wow, it can get all of them. Sweet. Just basically drives through all of them. 2 successes, 1 failure. The 2 that succeed leap out of the way entirely, but the one that does not... Oh shoot, I didn't get a thing. Track health. Takes some damage here. Okay. And then the ghouls that are operating the machine, oh well, they'll take their turn on their own turn actually. So the last thing that happens is this Flame Skull Lord here. As it cackles, cast a spell. Basically, points the one that you know to be Carl, the lightning skull, points up at the demon in the sky, a finger, and says, "We'll see how you like this then, huh?" And then a lightning bolt leaps out of the bony finger of the creature, and it just electrifies up that direction.
Great.
But the thing gets a natural 20, so it succeeds its save.
You liked it?
You'd like that chance.
Takes half damage. Does someone want to roll 8d6 for me?
We got the D6.
Yeah,
D6
Mara's one of all
over there.
D6s.
Whoa.
Oh.
Above average.
20,
That's a shame that got
32,
dodged.
37.
Okay.
Really
I
high.
can't ever roll for like that for myself.
This is just a practice roll. Warming up.
Then it is Harmony's turn.
Oh, okay. Well, so there's how many of the big like winged gorilla things?
Just one of them.
And then there's a bunch of birds.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the other creatures, the 3 other ones or whatever. With
Yes,
all
the 3 like
terrible-
horse-like creatures
Yeah.
with the horrible bony tails.
Yeah.
And the gorilla thing is a demon.
Yep. As far as you know, they're all demons.
Well, I think I'll do what I do best and cast banishment on the gorilla thing.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool. Unless they
You
need
wait,
to
I already
die
said it.
here.
What kind of save is it?
No, but they're demons.
They're demons.
We're going to collect soul coins from them,
Oh.
whatever that means.
Huh?
Yeah,
Devils?
But
forget it.
I don't know what it means.
Kind of
Okay.
save
Just
is it?
devil
I
thing.
think it's charisma.
That's charisma as well.
Ooh, that's a really good roll. 25.
Well, can I use Tides of Chaos to... Oh no, that doesn't work that way. No, I can use Bend Luck though.
Yeah.
So subtract a d4 from that.
Do you want me to roll that?
Oh, or I could.
You just have baby in one hand.
I have baby, but I have one hand for rolling. Yeah, that's a 3!
Okay, so that's a 22 then.
Fail!
Okay, that demon pops out of existence.
Yeah!
Anything else from Harmony?
I'm gonna stay hidden wherever we were.
Okay. I mean, you think that casting your spell probably...
Well,
will
I
do,
would have
so-
popped out to cast a spell and then I'll pop back.
Yeah, you'll have cover, but you...
Into
they
cover,
definitely know
not
where you
into
are.
hiding, yeah.
Zant?
Alright. I will light my bow and I will take some shots at the flying ones. Use my scope and
Not me.
sharpshooter.
I'm flying.
Well, I'll think about that as I'm shooting.
So the big crow-like creatures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get some shots out there. I'm gonna try these Iker arrows for the first one, see what happens. That is a 29 to hit.
Hits.
I'm gonna use trip attack.
Okay.
So he's gonna make a DC 21 saving throw, or be knocked prone out of the sky.
Strength saving throw?
Strength.
Well, how does a 18 do? Doesn't do
Fail.
it. So this creature goes crashing down towards the ground. We'll say he was 30 feet up.
Okay.
That's 15 points of bludgeoning damage as it hits the ground.
And then, what does the Iker arrow do? Did he?
I'll get to that in just a
Okay,
second.
and then I did. Let's see, that's 28 piercing damage with that shot.
Okay. It does seem like the non-magical nature of your arrows isn't working as well
Okay.
on the creature,
Sure.
but it does have to make a save here. It passes its save against the Iker.
Well, I got a crit on the next one,
Oh boy.
so here we go.
It is now on the ground though, so you would.
Well, I'm
technically
shooting.
have-
I'm shooting a different. Sorry, I'm shooting another one that's
Oh,
in the air. I'm trying to fell all the ones that are flying.
Gotcha.
So let's use the bowstring on this one to make it magic. That is going to be a disintegrate. That's a con save.
Con save for a rock is
Use another trip attack as well.
a 19.
Passes because it's a 15. But it is magic damage now. He has to make another strength save as well for trip attack.
17.
Fail.
Okay.
21, 27 plus.
Yeah, we've all been rolling better than
That's
normally.
45 damage from the magic piercing shot, and then whatever he takes from fall damage.
Yeah, it falls out of the sky and hits the ground hard. Still seems to be alive, but it's
Okay.
laying there prone on the ground.
Alright, then I'll make my final shot against the other flying guy. That's probably going to hit. It's a 31 to hit.
That does hit, yep.
Another trip attack, so another saving throw.
Fails and falls out of the sky.
I'll do another Iker arrow. Do you really want to know what these are? That is
Oh, natural 1.
34 damage from the shot.
That's non-magical.
Yes, unless the Iker arrow does something for me,
Does
but
not.
okay.
But I do need you to roll a d100.
Okay. Gladly.
That's exciting.
Please this.
Every
That's
time
a
I roll-
99.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Whatever that does.
Every time my phone screen goes
Not
red,
much.
I use the music.
Maybe a little bit more.
You could have given it 100%.
Yeah.
9.
You're all.
Oh shoot. Alright.
Tell me about it.
You watch as the thing hits the ground hard, right?
Yeah.
And as it begins to try and right itself, where the arrow struck, right at its neck, another, like a feathery, like, bulb begins to bubble up from under the skin.
I don't like this thing anymore.
And it eventually, like, it keeps growing until this, like, appendage is coming off of its neck. But then you watch as a entire other bird head appears at the end of the appendage.
Like its
Basically,
head?
yeah, like it grows a second neck and then a second head entirely. And both heads just kind of like are turned towards you now.
Does it?
That doesn't seem
Well,
very
so
helpful.
so I have Skulker, so I don't reveal my position
Okay.
if I was hidden or
Yeah.
whatever.
So,
it
it's
doesn't
just
know.
kind of, both heads are just kind of like looking around.
Yeah, but like, so. Hang on. Wait, 1 second here. I'm need to catch up. So this second head, is it like? Does it seem like it's in pain at all, or is it just like a natural?
I mean, it took
mutated
pain from
second-
the attack, yeah,
Yeah, but like it's like a full functioning mutated second
as
head.
far as you can tell.
Wow, what? Weird. This is. I don't know if I like these arrows. Did that help him? Am I helping him? I don't know.
I don't know. It's their turn now, though.
Yeah, I'm done.
They use half their movement to get up.
That was weird. I don't know, guys. I'm confused.
Like, let's use
I got more. I have more questions than answers.
The creature's like, give me more.
They fly to your position because they know that, even though Xant doesn't reveal himself, they know that Harmony was there. One of them gets up and flies towards Mara. The other two fly in your direction.
Who's your direction?
Thaddeus and Xant and Harmony.
Okay.
Yep. And basically, once they get close enough, they all just like open up their beaks and screech. This horrific sound that sounds like nails against a chalkboard just rings out across the plains. And I need each of you to make Constitution saving throws.
Is it a magic weapon?
Yes, I'd say it is.
Are they fiends?
Yes.
They also have +5 on this.
Well, that doesn't really do much for me, does it? Constitution?
Mm-hmm.
21.
What?
Okay, pass.
What is this?
Nat 20.
Pass.
Again.
31.
Pass.
28.
Pass. Okay.
No, sorry. 26.
Effectively, no effect on any of you.
Yay.
Oh, I didn't do it for Yaka though. Yeah. He probably passes.
Why does he have...
Because I have greater favored enemy against fiends.
But that doesn't give Yako advantage, does it?
Does. He got a 25.
Okay. He passes as well. The big monkey demon would have its turn, but it's gone. Now the big horse demon things. They basically begin... Their most pressing foe is the metallic monstrosity that tumbled out of the wastelands at them. So they are going to make a bunch of attacks. Natural 20, 19, natural 20. Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll hit. 2 more hits. And then 1 more hit.
Last autos?
One of its hooves, one of its claws, and one of its tail. Cool. I need to total up a bunch of damage here against the vehicle.
Maybe
There's...
this is on Garistro. Doesn't it have like
Well-
extra building damage or whatever it is?
Yeah.
That's right. Against our fourth hammer.
I know.
And the tail does 16.
I really thought
Constructs, remember, usually have a damage threshold.
I do. And I could build myself a complicated encounter, didn't I? Damage threshold of 10. Yeah, all of
okay.
these exceed the damage
Alright.
threshold.
Is that like minimum damage before it actually?
Yeah, it's like if you don't do more than 10 damage, you don't do any.
But if you do more than this
Yeah.
full? Oh, okay, gotcha. So it's not just a reduction.
No.
I see. That's interesting.
It's like you can't punch the war machine to death. You just bap, bap.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Gotcha.
lost
Monk
the
could.
stat block. There it is.
Monk probably has.
You guys want to help me roll those natural 20s?
Sure. What do you need?
Alright, let's say it was a hoof and a claw.
Let's say.
So that is 46 and 44.
This is the D4.
Okay. But
this was 15.
oh, you did roll that one.
15?
Mhm.
9, 10, 11 for the D4s.
That wasn't 17.
That's what I
I'm
rolled.
seeing 15.
I thought you had 2 6s. Sorry. I was like, what?
Okay,
You're right.
that's not great. They basically begin to, like, with their hooves and with their claws and with their... Actually, does this machine have any sort of... No, okay, cool. With their hooves, with their claws, and with those wicked-looking serrated tails that they have, they just surround this machine and begin to pound on it. And it takes enough damage that something might happen.
Oh boy.
Just need to find the
Even
table
flower.
for it. Would one of you care to roll for me on the
Roll.
mishaps table
Sure.
a d20?
A 10.
10.
As
Okay.
neutral as it gets. The most
Average.
mundane things happen.
Average.
The radio turns on.
One of the side passages that has these like harpoon launchers that are being operated by the ghouls. Basically, one of the demons grabs it and breaks it off and throws it off into the wasteland.
Or
That's their turn.
Mad Max
Thaddeus.
machine.
Yeah.
Finally.
How far away is all this happening from me?
About 40 feet.
Okay.
You
so
also have 2 downed or pinned or proned birds, right? Oh no, they all got up,
They all
didn't
got
they?
up.
I'll get
So,
up.
mhm.
That's right.
Yeah, how close are the birds?
They're probably more like 30.
But they're up in the air.
Yes.
Oh, they flew back up.
So there's nobody I can reach on my turn.
Oh, but actually, the ones that came near you
Uh-huh.
to screech, they're more like 15 feet up in the air, probably.
Doesn't help me much. Man. guess Thaddeus gets out from under the rock, or from behind the rock, starts walking up to the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus action, get out the sword. Regular action, cast protection from evil and good. And just say, excuse me.
What does protection from evil and good do?
Gives Phoenix creatures disadvantage on attack rolls.
Okay. So you say excuse me, and you kind of direct it at the
demons.
At the demons, okay. All of their eyes turn towards you, and it's almost as if like there's a supernatural sense there. Like they aren't looking at you with their eyes, but you can feel that they are sensing the like divine connection within you, and there's hatred that bubbles up there. Mara, it's you.
Okay.
Mara.
Am I close to that monkey guy?
Yeah, you're right up next to him.
The
Okay.
monkey guy?
Yeah, she flew up next to the monkey.
Monkey's
Oh no,
banished.
he disappeared. He's banished.
Oh, you're
You're
calling
next to
him
the birds.
gorilla, so I'm thinking
Same.
it was a different creature.
You're right up
Okay.
next to one of the big vulture creatures, though.
Okay.
Sorry, Mara.
So I think since I'm flying, I'm gonna use my whip instead.
Okay.
Of course. That's the best use for that.
And I'm gonna try to tangle it around.
Roll your attack.
Go Mara. Go Mara. Go Mara.
Get him, Indy.
Indy.
It's a 19.
A 19?
Yeah, Stormwind.
That,
I feel like it's more than a 19.
It should be more than a 19. That's only +6. You get your dex bonus as well.
Proficiency.
That is just the we only +6 for proficiency, so you should get +5 on top of that, right?
So plus 11.
So they're all my weapons
Yeah.
except for unarmed strike are plus 11.
Yep.
It
Yep.
should be.
Okay.
You probably
Because you're proficient
your
right
last
now.
sheet had that at unproficient probably, right?
Okay.
Probably.
So
So-
maybe
So what I roll a 13.
13.
So it's a 24.
23.
24? Yes, that definitely hits. I mean, you hit before.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just
you-
thought
this
I
is
just thought you
maybe
should know that.
Okay.
you have
That's a
that.
good call. Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad.
The whip whips around it, and you want to try and entangle it?
Yeah, I want to try to entangle it and force it to the ground with the lightning.
You can
Yeah,
make
get
a
'em.
With the lightning hit.
an athletics check, I guess.
Get him.
Athletics check.
Yep.
Ooh, what's that? A plus 14. So it's a 28.
Yeah, you whip it down to the ground.
Okay.
Right.
But you're kind of gonna go with it too to the ground, if that's okay.
That's okay.
All right. Instead of your attack damage, then I'll have it take 4 damage. Actually, you'd probably rather do your attack damage. Just do your attack damage, and you
Do I
slam
get
it
sneak
down on the
attack?
ground. Yeah, you get sneak attack.
9 plus a d4.
Let's say this is the one that Zant hit with magical damage, so it's already looking pretty good.
Is this one with 2 heads?
No.
Okay, good.
That one double screeched us.
I bet it could.
41.
41. Okay.
It's like Doduo.
This one looks like it is barely alive. After you like whip it, the lightning like electrifies the whip, and you slam it down on the ground. After a hit from Zant's arrow and from your whip, it is barely holding on there.
Oh,
Yako.
still alive.
Yako will take this opportunity to pounce on that one.
Okay.
So he does not. It's prone?
No,
It's not prone?
no,
Okay.
it's just on the ground
So he'll make an attack.
Grapple?
and grappled. but
Probably
that's-
not gonna hit then. That is a plus 13 then.
13 to hit.
Yeah.
Does not quite do it. So this vulture creature bats its big wings at Byakko and kind of forces Byakko off of it.
It's okay, Yako, you tried. Alright, that's all he's got.
The Flame Skull Lord, seeing the damage done to its vehicle, the fiery head basically looks back and is like, Carl, they're breaking our what is this thing called actually? They're breaking our war machine. And then the electric head just goes, I know! And then shouts, Carl, or not Carl, Simon, you have to do something about this. And Simon's like, oh, okay. And is going to cast a spell.
Three-headed ogre skeleton. This is so good.
I love how it has an argument with himself. The actual suck.
10 flame skull lords.
Yeah. I mean, this is what Simon's gonna do. Everyone who is right nearby. So that's Thaddeus, Yako, Mara. All of you need to make dexterity saving throws as a fireball erupts.
Oh,
right here.
great.
Yep.
Alright, well, you guys get +5.
Alright.
All these creatures are going to make dexterity saving throws.
Is he a fiend?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
So I get +16 to 27.
I also got
Pass.
7.
So you take no damage.
Stiako, not me. So +5, so that's 16 plus. Oh, he's really proficient in this. What? 30?
12.
Plus 14.
Hey, since Thaddeus is a noble and he has Pass Without Trace on him, does that make him a Lord of Creeping?
Or a Lord of Peeping.
Lord of Sneaking.
Okay, so anyone who got lower than an 18 will take full damage, except
That's
for
me.
Mara, because you're going to take none because of evasion. Does someone want to roll 8d6 for me?
8.
8d6, yep.
Yeah, that's the fireball. Roll low.
Nice.
Yay.
That's yeah, a little below average, I think. Maybe
Good.
about average.
22.
22, okay.
Alright, let's see here. Okay, I'm good.
How much damage was it?
22.
And then halved for
Have
quick pass?
if you pass, which everybody did except for Thaddeus.
And then the machine itself basically goes.
That's a weird noise for a machine to make.
That's me thinking.
What did it do? It just
Tries to run over one of the creatures as it
Balls.
just basically drives and tries to put a little bit of distance between it and the creatures.
Oh, okay.
But the creature passes its saving throw and gets out of the way as the machine goes across the desert, gets quite a ways away. It's in fact 100 feet away.
Wow.
Still within range.
I hope it comes back for us. Otherwise, this is all for nothing.
Is the
Harmony, you're up.
the flame skeleton lord still on the machine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the machine's driving away.
But it,
And
it basically gets a ways away and then turns away.
Just dimension
Okay.
door in the passengers. Hey, Carl.
And there were birds around me screeching.
There's 2,
Around
I think, is what he
you
was saying.
and by Mara. There's one by Mara that looks really hurt.
Oh, right. And then... Okay, well, I'll just, am I within melee range of the bird that's near me?
Is probably flapping up in the air about 15 feet up, so.
So, no. So, is that... Okay, well, I will, I'll just send a firebolt over to the one that looks really hurt.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, that's probably gonna hit.
That's it.
That's, 34
And bird, yes.
to hit. Okay, and what does firebolt do now? 3, 4, 3. I'm level, 40, 10. Woohoo!
Okay.
Is this hellfire or regular fire?
Is Firebolt a cantrip?
Firebolt's a cantrip, so would it cost any HP?
Just one.
Okay, we'll make it Hellfire. Sure, why not?
Sure.
Actually, no, because then I'd have to roll a concentration check. I've got
Okay,
it.
so then how much
Oh,
damage is
yeah.
it?
So it's regular fire, and it's... I rolled pretty high anyway. That is 18 plus 5, 23. Shut up, I can do math. 23 fire damage.
Okay. It is still enough to burn this thing up. But you can see that, like, as the fire seems to lick off of its wings a little bit, implying a little bit of resistance.
Yeah, but I ignore resistance
Yeah.
because of elemental adept.
That's true.
Yeah.
In which case, it's more than enough, a lot more than enough to kill this thing.
It would be immunity that I need hellfire for.
Right. It burns up.
Yay!
Nice job. Trophy.
Zant?
I will fly up 15 feet and pull up Kusanagi and
Sorry,
How are you flying?
is there?
the boots.
Do you
You
have
still
flying
have
The
those?
jet boots, you said I did.
That's right. We decided you could have remade them.
Yeah, within 5 years.
Sorry, I didn't get to use any movement.
Do you want to move?
Yeah, so if there's somewhere I can go to get cover from this bird.
Basically, you can go around the other side of the rock,
Yeah,
but it
that's-
will probably just fly around.
That's fine, but I'm just gonna do it anyway.
Sure.
I'll try and intercept them. So
Zant.
can I position myself to be next to both of them? These rocks?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, I'll do that. Because then if they come towards you, then I'll get an attack on it. So, alright. So I'm gonna make some swings against the two-headed one. Hopefully I didn't get more HP with that extra head. But we'll see. That's a crit.
Okay. Hits.
You get to
Okay.
chop off
Fine.
the
Come on! Chop off the head! No, not this time.
so
I wanted it
I really
though.
wanted to
I
do
wanted
the extra
to.
head.
Well, if I kill it, maybe I can do that. Anyways, okay, Kusanagi, so crit, I have to reread this every time, I'm sorry. It's extra 14 if it's not an object. Okay. So 14, and then it's a D8. And this is 11 plus 4, 15 plus 14, 29 for the first hit.
Ooh, okay.
Right in the head mandible. Oh, actually, that needs to be a little bit more. It was a crit, so I get 2, and so that's plus 5 on top of that.
Okay.
Is he still alive?
Still alive.
Do another attack. That is a 21 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. That's 4 plus 1. That's 15.
This is with Kusanagi, yeah?
Yes. How's he looking?
He's hanging in there.
Okay, one more. That's probably gonna hit. That's a 25 to hit.
That is a
So
hit.
we got 5. One more than the last one, whatever that was. So that's
16.
is that what it is?
Last one was 15.
Okay, so 16. Yep, that's right.
Okay. That one is looking extremely rough.
Still dead. Wow.
Still
Yeah.
dead.
All right. Well, I did 3 attacks. That's what I got.
Then it is their turn. So the two that are next to you
Yeah.
are going to take their multi-attack against you.
Sure.
So here comes the first one. Oh, that's a natural 20 on the beak.
Okay.
And a 16 on the
Miss.
claws. And the other one is a 13 on the beak.
Does
And
the two-headed one get 2 beak attacks?
no, it's just one beak. The other beak seems to like kind of flop around.
Okay.
And a 24.
24 hits.
Okay. So one beak, one talon, the beak being a natural 20.
You guys
I
see
should give it an extra
Did
beak.
you guys see
No real
the Pokemon thing, Clarence?
No.
What?
Did you see the Pokemon Clarence?
Okay, show us after the.
Yeah, okay. It's great.
So from the beak you take 17 piercing damage as it just
Okay.
jams into you. And from the talons of the other one, which was not a crit, you take 13 slashing damage.
Sure. Alright. So I need to do 2 Constitution saves. That's a fail then.
That's not an automatic fail.
It is because I only have 9.
Plus 4. Plus 5.
Are we in range?
I
Yep,
think so.
with his increased aura.
Oh, then yes,
Yeah.
I pass. That's so I can't fail, basically.
No,
You have to take a lot of damage.
Yeah. Okay. So no, I guess I don't need to do concentration checks.
Were you concentrating? Oh yeah, pass with
That's
that.
that case.
These,
Does it matter?
I don't know.
Do we still need it?
I mean, I'm not gonna just drop it.
it lasts
I
for a
don't need that.
while. Could
Yeah.
come in handy. These big horse-like creatures, what is their speed? 60 feet. So they can't get to the infernal machine, but Thaddeus taunted them and was showing off his divine power. So they are all going to group up on Thaddeus.
They've all got disadvantage on them.
Okay. All right then. We'll do this one attack at a time.
You're
Here
welcome.
comes the hoods. That is plus 8, so not high enough. Here comes the next one. That is a 17, not high
No.
enough. And the tail, 17, so not high enough.
No.
That was the first one. Hooves, not high enough.
I wanna-
Not high
I want to
enough.
know what this looks like as you just deflect these blows with your divine blessing.
Oh, this one might do it.
Shield.
This is the claws, and it is a 22.
Shield.
It's like that scene in Last Jedi.
Yeah.
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 That was the highest attack. So what does this look like as they basically surround you, these large creatures, and then with their hooves, their claws, and these horrible serrated bone tails just are whipping at you?
I think what it looks like is, as they get in close, Thaddeus like starts to glow brighter and brighter until they can barely stand to look at him, and they're still attacking him, but they're just flailing away, and only one of them really manages to get in, and Thaddeus just like.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's Thaddeus' turn.
Let's attack.
One of them looks more hurt than the others.
Okay, let's attack that one.
It's the one that got.
Lord of Reaping.
I can't remember what happened to it. Oh, it's the one that failed its save against the
Yeah.
machine that tried to run it over.
2 attacks then. Natural one and one.
You're so bright.
Yeah. The other one is a 25.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Cut to Thaddeus squinting because he can't handle
Yeah.
his own light
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, probably.
Put the
It's
sunglasses
like, oh
on.
god, I've never done this before.
Ah, I got away.
This is more than I expected.
I'm gonna put a third level sign on this. Why not?
So one-eye battle.
Now I have to remember how many dice that is against the fiend.
It's been a long time.
It has. I mean, I would have to do this even if it had been a long time because I. Okay. 28. Was it cold? And then 68 radiant. Alright.
It's so satisfying, isn't it?
You hear that? Yeah.
I wish it was taller. I wish I would have gotten
13 cold damage.
Okay.
These are bad ones.
Does seem to be a little bit resistant to the
Well, I
cold.
thought you were going to be carrying it back and forth in your bag.
24 radiant.
But it's like, this is like compact size. This is like if you were bringing it to a game.
24 radiant?
Yes.
It recoils from that damage. Doesn't seem to mind the cold too much, but definitely the radiant.
Cold never bothered it anyway.
You think it would on a demon.
Mara,
Funny.
you're up.
Me. All right. So
You
am
have
I?
one of these birds next to you, I think?
And these. But
Oh no, the bird
that
that
one-
you had grappled is dead.
yeah, it's dead. So
I
I'm
keep
on the
getting rid of
ground,
the
or
enemies she's after.
I'm on the ground, or can I fly again?
You can fly again.
Okay. So what needs attacking the horse
Xant is
things?
being harassed by 2 birds. Thaddeus has a crowd of 3 of these large horse creatures around him, but he seems to have it in hand.
All right, so I'll go help out Xant.
I'm fine too.
I'll say.
Xant has done a lot of damage to one of the birds that he is fighting.
Okay, so I'll attack that one.
Fine.
And I tell him, hey, Untin soldier, I'm on my way.
Thanks, Indy.
Okay, so this time I think I'm gonna throw the lightning.
Okay. Roll your attack.
26.
Oh yeah. You guys shouldn't even have to roll the hit anymore at this point, honestly. If it weren't for the chance of a natural 1.
I did roll a natural one. That's why I only got 1 attack.
Plus 5, 41. Not what I rolled last
And
time.
it's dead. Trophy for Mara. That bird falls out of the sky, and Hunter, there's only one more Xant, there's only one more harassing you now.
I'm hearing he keeps mentioning it.
Another fever dream.
Anything else from Mara?
Oh, I think you said there's only one left
There's one more.
next to you. I think I'll go ahead and land.
Okay. Then
And-
it is Biako's turn.
Head towards
Okay.
Harmony.
Yako will. I guess he'll pounce at one of the ones attacking Thaddeus, because I think those are the only ones left besides the one that I have next to me. So
We've hurt one of them.
yeah, we'll go for that one. Okay, Yako, we'll get there one day.
Jacko tried so hard.
He's really trying. Is it 16 hit?
It just hits!
Yako!
Hey.
He has to make a DC 12 strength saving throw or be knocked
You got
prone.
so far.
Nice.
Man, these guys are good at strength.
Oh no.
Oh, 13 on dice. He's
Dang
fine.
it. Okay.
What's the
Yako
DC?
leaps onto the back of this horse creature.
It's never gone up. This is 12.
I could meddle it.
It was 13 on dice plus.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I thought you
that's
said just 13.
15 damage though
Oh, dang.
for that attack. Okay, that's it.
Yako, so close to killing it.
What is the DC shit for that shit?
No,
Uh,
the prone it doesn't go up. At least it's not listed too. So I don't know if it's supposed to or not.
But like, if his stat, okay, what's that for later?
The Flame Skull Lord and its crazy machine. Oh, shoot, I forgot completely about the ghouls on the motorcycles. They're just basically circling the fight. I
Yeah,
think.
thanks for the help, guys.
Yeah.
Like, their long tongues just kind of flapping in the wind.
Oh yeah, we
the-
fought ghouls before.
The Scavenger, this infernal machine is called, comes whipping back in this direction, and it's that grappling claw on the back that is attached to a chain whips
let them
out
ghouls
towards
riding.
one of the horse-like creatures. Would one of you roll me a d20?
I'll do it. 17.
17. Okay, yeah. The claw basically, it's like a claw machine claw, except on a much larger scale. It
The
hooks
claw.
around the body of one of the horses and just whips it away and is dragging it down the
The
field.
claw chooses who will stay and who will go.
I'm in a better place.
I have been chosen. Farewell, my friend.
In Simon's voice.
This demon turns to the camera and says, "The claw." The
In common somehow?
Yep, the blue
Wonderful.
energy skull turns to the thing that it is dragging behind it, basically, points a bony finger, and a cone of cold erupts from it. Let's see, what is the con save on this thing? It passes, but it's still going to take quite a bit of damage. This cone of cold does a lot of stuff. Would someone roll for me? 8d8 cold damage.
Oh.
Yes,
Actually,
you
I've
do.
got 88 cold.
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
right here.
Please.
Wow.
Let's see,
Better
let's
than
start
ours.
with,
I'm going to say this is the one that was quite damaged.
Oh, the average.
32.
32, okay. So that would be
Sorry,
half
how much?
down to 16.
32.
It's actually right smack in the middle. It's 88 to 64.
Yeah.
So
About
about average.
when
Not about.
when
that.
the magic effect clears, it is clear that the thing is dragging behind it the frozen like block that once was a demon.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Nice.
Harmony.
Ooh. Alright, so what's left?
There's two horse-like demons which are on
One
Thaddeus. Both of them are looking a little terrified now. And there's one bird-like demon that is on Zant.
How hurt does the bird look?
Not very. Not very at all.
Didn't I knock all of them on the ground? And
Yeah, I mean, it's hurt, but not terribly.
that's the one with the two heads, right? Or no, that one's dead.
You killed the two-headed one?
Okay.
Well, Mara did.
Alright, is the bird
It's
up
double
in the
trophies.
The bird is up in the air.
I didn't know it was one trophy per head.
I'm just gonna cast Fireball.
Okay.
And Wild magic goes on!
Oh,
You're so excited.
I'm also really excited.
Alright, I will roll the fireball damage first and then we'll figure out the...
It's a very nervous excitement.
It's exciting when wild magic happens when
Yeah.
you're not expecting
Yeah.
it. Okay, so this is just a normal 3rd level fireball. Fireball.
Fireballs.
So it's 86. Fireball.
There's one extra L for every level you cast it up. At higher levels, it's like fireball.
Fireball. So that's a 2.
Because it's in hell.
Fireball.
Hello, fireball.
10, 20, 31 fire damage.
And is it hellfire?
No, but I ignore
Oh, right,
resistance.
right.
Take that.
I keep forgetting. Hold on. How much did you say?
31 fire damage. And we're gonna do some wild magic experimentation here. Wow, 11 or 31.
Oh, I didn't even roll a save for it. I just knew it
31
was
Charlie.
It's 31 Charlie. Oh, 11 happened very recently. Let's do 31!
That's weird.
Does
That's the amount of
22
the
hit your
damage
save?
you rolled, too.
By the way?
What?
22.
No,
No,
my DC is 23 now.
I realized I didn't even roll a save for it. I just took the damage.
So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
They
Takes
fail.
full damage.
And we're gonna do 31.
I don't have my sheet. What happens?
Well, I'll roll the 1d4. 2 boggles appear that are controlled by you in unoccupied spaces within 5 feet of me.
Yeah, before they even appear, you smell the smell of the oil that they secrete, all too familiar to you at this point.
Oh no!
You hear the cackle as if on the wind, and you realize you are in hell. When you hear as 2 bottles appear in a puff of oil.
Protect the shiny thing!
I'm rolling initiative for bottles.
It was that or the cactus spines. That's boring.
Yeah. You just did those. You're
Oh,
right.
you did just do
You
that,
said
yeah.
you're controlling these?
No, they're controlled by the DM.
Oh, controlled by.
I said controlled by you, pointing to Ethan.
Oh, I thought you were
Anything
reading
else on
like.
Harmony's turn?
Oh dear.
What? The bird's still up?
Yep.
Oh shit. Well, how hurt does he look?
Pretty darn. But, I mean, still hanging in there.
Like a firebolt could finish him off?
Probably not.
Probably not. Alright, then I will, what will I do? I don't want to move because of the boggles. So I guess I'll just stay put. And go, we have company!
Looks over. Oh god, not these guys again.
That's it.
It is the boggles' turn right after you,
Misery
actually.
loves
Based on
company.
where they rolled their initiative.
That's really funny.
They better not take the trophy from me.
They might have me.
One of them runs off and basically jumps down a hole in the ground, just going. The other one
Okay with this.
basically runs over to your space and just starts secreting oil as it looks up at you and just goes. Yeah.
I'm like,
Actually, it's the same size as you, so it basically runs.
It's the same size.
It runs right next to you, and basically just like looks at you and just goes and begins secreting oil.
I thought they were like this
They are
big.
small fae, but you are a small creature too. Yeah. So he's kind of like looking you in the eye, and he's like, looks like he wants to play. You know, he's making a face.
Hi.
Zant, there are bubbles.
I'll leave Harmony to these creatures. I will make the attack action, which means that Biako gets an attack as well with his reaction. So I'm gonna do that before I forget on one of the tailed creatures or whatever they are. Oh, yes, Biako, good job. You did it. That's 24 to hit.
Hits.
Yes, Biako, you man. It's not very good. It's okay. 7.
How's that strength save?
Natural 20.
Of course it is.
At least he's
Oh,
wasting them on
11 magic damage, though.
Okay.
Alright, then it's my turn. I'm gonna start slashing this other guy in the air. That's a 28 to hit.
Yes.
Okay, and that is 15 damage. That's a 24 to hit.
Hits.
17 damage. Is he still alive?
Yep.
Okay. That's a 28 to hit.
Hits.
That is 19 damage. Soul magic.
Hanging in there.
This guy is so strong. Okay, fine. I'm done.
The bird creature who is next to you,
Yeah, tell me about
with slashes all in its body,
Charred feathers.
Sounds like
shakes
chicken.
those charred feathers, basically like floofs,
I don't like this.
and these like spores, these like yellow spores, fly off of its body.
Ooh.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. That's 26, 31.
31 is a pass.
Hope so.
And so nothing
Yeah.
happens, and it looks with its single head at you in dismay and tries to fly away.
Can I make an attack?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got your reaction.
I'll do that. That is a 26 to hit.
Yeah, you decapitate it.
Yeah, I do.
Mhm.
Only one of its heads
It's only a single head.
and only one trophy.
The monkey creature would take a turn, but it's not here. The horse-like creatures
Oh,
then
sorry, can I
surrounding Thaddeus.
Use my movement to go into combat with the creatures with Thaddeus.
Sure. Which puts you in a perfect position to basically, as they. Where does this originate from? They basically hold out their hands, all two of them that are remaining. Lightning begins to crackle in their hands, and they throw it, and a line of lightning shoots out and catches both you and Thaddeus. And I need you to make 2 dexterity saving throws.
These are fiends, correct?
Yes.
There's one. That's
This is almost a known pass themselves, man. I got a 24 and something way lower.
Well, let's do something weird.
9.
Okay, yeah, that is one pass, one
I got
fail.
a 23 and 18.
23 and 18, both passes. So for Zant, that is a total of 26 lightning damage. For Thaddeus, it is 27 plus, I guess, 13. So
40.
40 points of lightning damage. And seeing that not take either of you down or do any significant amount of damage to either of you, they begin to hoof it away.
I
Good, because Thaddeus stopped glowing.
already used
Oh,
my reaction.
cool. In that case, one will stay, one will run,
Okay.
I think.
I don't have a reaction. Bianca doesn't have a reaction, so I can't attack.
Thaddeus does, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do.
Oh,
And I will. Let's say 25 to hit.
Hits.
It is.
Okay. But I'm not gonna use my reaction for that because I lost my protection from good and evil, and I need that shield.
Okay.
Okay.
So never mind then. Then it's
Yeah.
Thaddeus' turn.
Okay.
What about the reaction back?
Oh, yeah, that's stupid then. Yeah, I'm gonna roll for damage on that. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With it.
Sorry. That's 11 cold damage, 8 radiant.
It still seems vital enough to run away.
Okay.
But then it is your turn. And
Alright.
that one gets 60 feet away from you, but there's still one next to you.
2 attacks. A crit.
Okay. What level of Divine Smite goes into this?
4.
Oh my gosh. You have a D8.
Yes, I do. Wait, I might not actually.
How many more do you need?
I have blue
Okay.
ones. Do you want blue ones?
I've got purple ones.
I need 2d8 for cold
There's two blue
and
ones.
I've got white ones.
14d8 radiant.
14?
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
because they're fiends, so I get extra die.
Oh.
I have green.
I have this is
So you need 2 more blues for cold.
yeah. No,
And-
but these are my cold.
Oh.
So actually, I think I have enough because it's 8 plus 6. So yeah,
Oh,
let's roll
okay.
my colds first. So this is good roll, honestly. 19 cold,
Okay.
and then
Man, I want this so bad. Like I get like clogged up inside the thing.
this is pretty good rolls.
It's above average if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure these guys aren't vulnerable to radiant or anything like that. No, they're not. Okay. That would have been a thing to overlook this entire fight.
Okay.
Yeah. 62 radiant damage.
Oh, good.
That was also only one of my attacks.
What does that look like? Oh wait, it has 2 health left. Sorry, go
Oh,
on.
but I had a second attack, which I
Yeah.
which I
But
think
she
also
was just
hit.
rolling. Yeah, it was a hit.
Yeah, it was also a
Fine.
hit.
Okay. Well then, I guess how do you want to kill this thing? With your 2 attacks.
Yeah, I guess. What these things are like bone creatures?
They basically have like the lower body of a horse, but it's covered in these plates, and then the upper body of some sort of muscular humanoid, but then the arms end in these wicked claws, and then the head has these horrible horns coming off of it, and they have these bony mouths with wicked looking teeth. They're gross.
Yeah.
Big tails.
Yeah, I think like all the glow starts to fade, but all it goes into that is his arm and comes out his sword as he strikes, and then it like kind of suffuses the thing and it basically explodes.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean this thing, basically its ichor just explodes out all over the battlefield.
Glad I can melee together.
I'm sorry, me?
Yeah, it's you.
Okay,
Actually, well, the only thing that is around is something like 60 feet away, running away.
okay, so I think since I've still got a little bit of fly spell left, I'm gonna fly up and land on the machine
Oh, okay.
next to the heads.
Just perch right
Say-
on the top.
Yeah, say,
The blue glowing head says, "Oh, I believe I recognize you." And the red glowing head, which you know to be Simon, says, "What? No, we don't know anyone. Who? Wait, what?" And then the electric yellow glowing head just goes, "Oh, it's these guys again!" And basically like pulls the machine to a stop. Do any of you want to pursue after the
No,
other one?
I mean, I could just shoot it, but I don't think it's a big deal.
The thing is, it is pretty quickly obscured by like a
Sure.
you
No,
know,
I
the
don't
dust
really
cloud
care.
that is kicking up.
Can
and
I
things like that,
collect any of my arrows?
so. Any of like the. Yeah, we'll say you can do half of what you fired, probably. Okay. Assuming they were all normal arrows.
I did Iker headed or coated arrows. Did those ones come?
Yeah, you can get those back. The
Okay.
Iker is just off of them.
Okay, so they're just regular.
Yeah.
Got it. Just those.
But we have a full barrel with you the next round.
Yes, I'm gonna make some more. I want some more
yeah, it was
two-headed
really,
things.
whoever had that idea to shrink the ship and dip it in, that was a really really good one. But you,
I don't think so.
Was it me? I
think
don't
so.
that was a
remember.
really
I
good
think it was
idea.
your idea.
I was trying to describe that, the other day.
And the
Take a chunk of
big
the strawberry.
machine comes to a halt next to the group of you, and all 3 pairs of goggles go up onto the head of the creature, and basically all 3 sets of empty eye sockets turn to you.
Goggles.
Otherwise, it would just the sand would fly in the back.
Yeah, just go through. What
I love it.
And the creature dismounts from the machine, and basically it is a imposing skeletal figure, like a full humanoid creature with 3 skull heads mounted on the top. They seem to just be connected one next to another. Both the blue glowing head, and we know to be Cecilia, and Simon go to speak, and the yellow one, who you know to be Carl, basically shushes them and says, "No, no, I'm doing the talking. Hold on, let me talk to these guys. Who are you? I don't remember you. These two say they recognize you. I don't know. What are you doing here? This
What?
battlefield's ours. We're collecting soul coins here."
Well, you can have them.
Well, good, because you can't have it. They're
We
ours.
just wondered if we could, in exchange for helping you, if
Yep.
we could catch a ride to the River Styx.
Carl narrows his eyes, and Cecilia, to the left of Carl, says, "You know, Carl, they did help us out quite a bit, and now there's nothing standing in our way of picking this battlefield completely clean."
This isn't the first good turn we've done you either.
And Simon says, "I still don't remember what this good turn was. What happened, Cecilia? What was it?" And Cecilia kind of turns to Simon and
take
says,
this infernal machine for ourselves.
"Don't you remember, Simon? They're the ones who released us from Alkeen's spell and allowed us to leave the Shadowfell and come to here."
I was gonna go.
And then Carl recognition dawns, and he said, "Wait, you're the ones who killed me! You
That's-
killed me!"
Well,
That's what she just said. We
you kind of
released you.
attacked us.
We released you from the Shadowfell.
No, that's not what you did with me. No, you shattered my skull. I remember now.
But
It's
you
all
were
coming
able
back.
to come back here.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You're welcome.
But no thanks to you.
Actually,
Hey,
if it weren't for us, you'd still be in the Shadowfell.
She's right.
I don't see the connection. And Cecilia's just off to the side, like sort of.
Off to the side, just like the other head over.
Just the other bit of, calm
Can I-
down, Carl. It's okay. Like, just trust me. Take me at my word. They helped us last time. I remember. What did you want to do?
Oh no, go ahead.
I mean, Carl is basically just simmering with anger, and Cecilia then takes over the conversation and says, "You need to go to the River Styx? How is it you've come here? What is it you've come to do?"
That's a really long story.
Tell me on the ride.
All right, I suppose that's fair. Carl, we're going to have to kick some of the ghouls out to make room. And Carl basically goes, "Fine. If we've got to do it, then we're gonna do it. That's fine." And
You can
Simon
offer to
says,
fix it.
"I guess we
You can
could just
pick up
make
the
more
parts and go
anyways.
on."
It's not like there's any shortage of bodies to deal with." So, they sort of reluctantly come to the conclusion, or I guess Carl reluctantly comes to the conclusion that he's being overridden here, and concedes to give the group of you a ride, leaving a couple of the ghouls in the wastelands, taking their goggles and putting them on you instead.
Great.
There's the side passages side passenger seats on the big machine, and then there's the 2 smaller motorcycle-like ones, which they kick the ghouls off of as well.
I'd like to roll insight on the what's the skeleton flame master? What's his name?
Well,
Cecilia.
there's 3. There's Cecilia, there's Carl, and there's Simon.
Why-
Simon's the fire
On the
one.
body, like on just them, just their entity. Like
What do you want to roll?
I want to roll insight on the goggles and see if it's just for fashion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, roll an insight check.
Isn't that 20?
Yeah, I mean,
Stupid.
it
What
probably,
is-
it
what are they-
probably wouldn't do anything to them if they didn't wear them,
Yeah.
but they don't know that.
Is it for fashion?
No. They really think they need
They
them.
really think.
Okay, alright. I'm okay with this.
Since I'm up there with them and they're distracted talking to everybody, I'm gonna pick their pocket.
Pick the
We talked
creature's
about
pocket.
this.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
Does she need to?
She does not.
No, not really. That's a plus 17 to that. So what is that? 33?
32.
32.
Alright, well, you needed a high roll to beat the passive perception, as there are 3 heads. But you managed to do it, and you rummage around in the pockets, and you find a few soul coins.
Are you carrying any right now?
I have one.
You want to snatch another one?
Yes, because I'll probably offer it back to them for something.
You take one of the 2 soul coins that this creature had in its pocket. I guess it would have had 3.
Hungry kid.
And slip it out, and then basically they get you situated on these machines that they're roving about the infernal wastes with, and they go to start them up again, and there's no roar of the engine or anything like that, and Carl goes, "Damn it! We must have run out of power while we were idling here." And it turns to Cecilia and says, "Cecilia, you brought more coins, right? More coins?" And they begin to rummage around in the pockets and pull out the 2 coins. And Cecilia says, "Well, that's odd. I could have sworn I brought 3, one for each machine. I suppose we'll have to leave one of the Devil's Rides behind," and points to the motorcycles. "The group of you are going to have to squish on the big machine. We'll come back for it later, since we've claimed this battlefield."
Here, I'll replace it.
How long would it take you to make a soul coin out of the demons we had killed here? Isn't that why you were king?
What? No. You can't make a soul coin out of a demon. Don't be crazy.
Oh.
What is it? What do you do then? How do you do it?
How do you make a soul coin? I don't know. That's the Archdevil's Mammon's job.
You're just gonna pick the soul coins off.
Yeah, we're gonna pick the soul coins, pick this field clean of coins, and
Like with their pockets.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Luke,
make a little money.
I see.
am I the only one that got that?
Yeah.
Basically goes up to it sits in the driver's seat of the big machine, and then there's a console there next to the wheel with a slot in it, and they drop the coin in it, and then there's a roar of the engine, and basically fire kicks out of the exhaust of the thing. And they go and repeat the same process. There's also a slot on the motorcycle.
I don't want to think about the connotations here. The implications.
Drop a soul coin into there. The thing roars to life with infernal fire.
Great.
And within not too long, the group of you are making your way, tearing across the infernal wastes in these horrible infernal metal machines. And I think that's where we'll have to end tonight's episode.
Sounds good.
So we'll start off next
4 companions,
episode.
please,
You guys can talk to Carl and Cecilia and Simon and see if you got any information you want to try and get out of them. That's where we'll pick up
Great
in the new year.
unexpected reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you to anyone who watched. I know I was having some issues with the audio, so hopefully it's not horrible in the broadcast. Hope you enjoyed anyways, and we will see all of you in the new year. So thanks for watching.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Happy holidays.